joined by a very special lady here today. She has to just go by mom, but we know
Yes.
her as the streamer by the name of Dark Mom Consortium, and also the wonderful lady who has created Star Trek Online booths at STLV for 2 years in a row, even in
And
the year that we didn't do it. And I was getting to that. Hang
oh,
on, Ma.
sorry, sorry.
Jeez. And she actually wrote a book about
Oh,
Star
oh,
Trek Online. Well, she
let's be
and her
fair.
fleet.
No, and actually, with Darkthorn, he and I did it together after the first year we did the Star Trek Las Vegas, and everybody'd come up and go, "This is really too hard to play." So we thought, okay, we'll write a book. Well, 30,000 words in, and we've covered the species. We're 30,000 words into this third book, and we've covered running.
I didn't think it would take that many words to say hold shift.
Yeah, we have somebody else who's writing the second volume. Centurion Alpha is writing that one, and that's just on the heads-up display.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Wait till we get to the
show
ships.
us all the book again and tell us a little bit
Okay,
about it.
book.
There's the book.
Okay, so this is not just okay. It's Star Trek Online, but it's a basic gamer's guide. But DT Darkthorn and I got going with it, and it started to become more than just the book. It's how did we get into Star Trek? How did we get into Star Trek Online? There's a lot of personal anecdotes about the history that we've had with it, and personal thoughts and comments. So it's very personal as well as being about the game.
So tell me a little bit about that. How did it start that way, or did it sort of morph into that way over time?
Well, when I write, I can be extremely clinical when I'm doing technical papers, and then when I'm writing fiction, and I love to write fiction, um, it can be very stylized, but this one was very much from the heart, so I was taking into a very fun, active, engaging, trying to get people to want to be in the game because it was fun. Okay, I'm mom. People are in the fleet, and they come to mom for help. They come to mom for advice, questions, commiserating, sharing their happiness. So try to put emotion and personality into the book as much as content, because honestly, I mean, there's the Augies, there are the who are, brilliant for DPS. There are the people we have in our fleet like Idarta and Pylorzen who are freaking brilliant with the technical stuff, which I'm can't do. Sorry, can't do that. So I'm the emotion. Do you remember the episode in TNG where they had the chorus behind the one character who was deaf or mute? I can't
Oh
remember
yeah,
which.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that's us. The fleet is we all have these little components of the personality, and I'm the emotional part of it. And Sav's saying, and me, yes, Sav, you too. So we are, we're the consortium. It's all of us together that makes it work. So we each have our little bits of it, but I'm the one who can stick a lot of it on paper. DT's content is obviously critical to making the book work. But in my opinion, he brings in the more masculine, more intellectual level, and I'm the emotional level.
Okay. So
And
how did
also, I've got some age on him. So
so how did the consortium get started?
again, it was Las Vegas. We decided to do the live stream 2 years. We've been on for 2 years, so it would be after the first time we did the booth in Las Vegas. We wanted to Well, honestly, we wanted to suck up to you guys
You
because
have
we
no idea
adore
how
you.
happy we were. Like it was the craziest thing. That year we had a booth, but just somebody came running up to us and was like, "There are players here who just have a booth to talk about their fleet in our game." Like,
Yep.
what?
Yeah, I know people were just walking over from Cryptic going, are you selling something? Nope, just here to play the game. And they'd
Okay.
get this kind of funny look and leave.
Uh, so how did that all come about? What was the decision process to start bringing your fleet to STLV and have an official booth presence?
Oh, okay. I've been going to Star Trek conventions since there have been Star Trek conventions. Not consistently. I mean, I'm a nerd, but I'm a nerd. But I don't always have enough money or the ability to travel. But when they started going to Las Vegas, my son and I would go. And we actually were at the convention where they announced that they were going to be creating the game. So very much into it. And then I started going back to Las Vegas for work and managed to time it out to be there with the convention. And I'm going to say, let's see, this year was 20, so 19 we were there, 18 we were there. 2017 I went there, and you had a little table, not really a big booth.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I thought I like you guys. I want to hang out with you guys. Um, so I came up with the idea of doing the booth, and at that time, our Fleet Admiral Ver was like, "Yeah, that's a good idea." But it was kind of on me to get it together, and then Darkthorn got invited to it because he volunteered, and that's all it took. Is like,
Easiest way to get invited to something.
yeah. And so as soon as he said that, Darkthorn jumped into it, and we started putting it together. And then Ver jumped in, and we had our booth, and kind of, just the idea to let you guys know how much we love you and how much we love the game.
Well, that is super sweet, and we really appreciate it. We loved seeing you guys there. Every the last couple of years. Obviously, there's been no STLV this year
That's
because
true.
none of us want to catch anything. But
No,
uh,
no.
but blah, blah, blah. How did the fleet get started? Because it's Strike Group Armada is the fleet, right?
Right. Actually, the fleet predates me. So it goes back, probably almost as long as there have been fleets in the game. The original founders of the fleet were 5 people who I don't think any of them still play, and they put together a nice fleet. It was fairly strong and fairly healthy, and they would phase out of it and new people would come in, and I think it was either the second or third incarnation of fleet admirals was with Ver, and he would hang out on Ryza and invite people to join the fleet while he was dancing. And that's how I got into it. So there I am, a lowly cadet, and slowly worked my way up the fleet, earning a little bit more respect and a little bit more um, position in the fleet slowly over time. And then slowly I got promoted to admiral and then fleet admiral. And Ver kind of stepped back. He's still around. Hi, Ver. But the people who were there at that time, which would be Beardy, and Ver, and if I'm forgetting anybody else, I apologize. They both have kind of stepped out, and then we brought in Idarta from Germany and Pi Lorzan from Denmark. Sorry, we always say he's from Narnia. And Darkthorn and I are from the States. So I think that's the 4 who are really active, and Ver who's in there.
Okay, so it's kind of a smaller fleet actually. You're not one of those like hundreds and thousands of people
Actually,
fleets.
we have a full 500. We had to
Oh
start
wow.
kicking out alts recently because we were overwhelmed with people. And
so
sorry, I'm watching Sav's comments
yeah,
on the
Sob
side.
says you found him in zone chat.
So we
How?
have our primary fleet, and then we're now the head of our armada, and it's completely full on the Federation side and halfway filled on the Klingon side. So we're decently sized.
Nice. That's really
We're fun.
cool.
Hmm.
So what's been the experience of being in like a player group like this, where people from different countries and countries get
Different
together because
countries.
you
Yes.
all play the game.
Well, it's probably the best part of the game is the social aspect. Um, as I was saying, we all bring different aspects of our personal lives into the game, and to an extent, there's a nice trust that we've got where you can go in there and talk about personal things, share personal stories. You've got friends who will commiserate with you. You've got friends who can share their joy with you, and it's reasonably safe. We had a point where we had people who were in there and just kind of being players, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think we've kind of evolved into being really people who enjoy playing the game but enjoy the social aspect as much. And that way everybody can shine. And like I said, Sav's one of those brilliant players. But then she's heavily into Space Barbie, which if I get clothes on them, I'm really happy. But that's about as far as I go. So everyone's got their forte, but the social aspect is absolutely wonderful. I've met some great people. I've actually traveled around the world to go meet people in the fleet. I've flown to Ireland to meet people. I've gone to England to meet people. WC, I'm coming to Australia one of these days. It's really bizarre. One of our fleet mates is in Australia, and it turns out he lives about 10 miles from somebody I know and have been there to visit.
Oh,
Had I
oh
but
no.
known.
You could have found him by throwing a stick.
Quite so.
Yeah. So, uh, shoot, I had another question and it's yeeted out of my skull. So how do you guys? What's a day to day running of the fleet like? Do you guys do you guys have like regular get together scheduled times for like TFOs and stuff? How does it work?
Most of our scheduled TFOs are whatever we're doing when we are live streaming. We do a live stream in the morning from, yeah, it was from 6:30 till 7:30, but That's shifted till 6 to 7 so I can take an earlier job shift. And so usually Ed and I will run something thematic. We were doing the entire Klingon arc with some brand new tunes, and now we're doing TFOs and missions. That's
Oh,
been
nice.
fun. So he comes off, Ed and Darta usually comes up with new and clever, creative, thematic tunes or tunes. So this morning we was playing with a new character Vindicta, but the other day we had Iron Man. We've had Doctor Manhattan.
Oh man.
So lots of brilliant characters coming out. DT, Pi, Sav, some of the others. Everybody's got their own motif behind their characters. I just create characters, and with the exception of my Romulans, there's not a lot of backstory to them. For backstory, I write, which is one thing we did with the fleet. Is we've got a website, and we just recently started doing Star Trek Online fanfic.
Oh really?
So anybody who wants to write is welcome to write and throw in something. And my favorite fanfic I ever wrote, which was for Star Trek, but not for Star Trek Online, was based on watching somebody making a coffee at the coffee machine one day. So this is a like 1,000-page novel based on a coffee machine.
Oh my
So
gosh.
unfortunately, Ed was mentioning the other day something about intelligent pants from somebody stepping in the mycelial fluid. And okay, I've got a new story going.
That sounds amazing. I would love to read about intelligent pants coming to life with mycelial fury. But I wish we had time in the game to do more goofball episodes like that. Like just
Yes,
we have to focus on the serious dramatic stuff, but it would be great to be able to do just an absolutely crazy one at some point.
it would be fun. I have to say that the Seven of Nine, what was that? One Night in Bozeman
Oh yeah.
was, oh, that was so much fun.
How,
Everybody loved that one, and it was lighthearted. It was serious. It had lots of pew pew.
yeah.
One night though, we were just getting way too silly, so everybody took off their shields and their armor, and it was melee weapons only.
Oh, that sounds
That was it.
amazing.
That was a good night.
I
And I
would
decided on
die
the
so many times.
presidential hand axe.
Fabulous.
It was a winner.
um, so, uh, how did you transition from having a fleet to having a regular stream? I know you said you started doing the streams at STLV. How did it go from
Mhm.
there?
We just decided we could maybe get more people interested in the game and not necessarily in our fleet, but in the game by making it more accessible. So there are lots of streamers out there who are superb with the DPS, not our forte. They're out there with great builds, great specific things, even Space Barbie. And okay, we thought we'll try and do a little bit more generalized approach. So we just, try and find things that people think are fun that maybe they don't want to go in and be the biggest DPS, but they want to go in and just play the game. Come in
Okay,
and play the game. Have fun.
that's
We're
awesome.
not going to tell you you're stupid or you're doing it wrong, and we sure as heck aren't going to yell at you.
So, how often do you stream?
Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. And in the evenings, Monday, Tuesdays, we aren't streaming tonight, but we have been doing Wednesdays, Thursdays, and some Sundays. And
Okay.
that's usually from 7 till 10
Okay. So you said when you said 6 to 7 earlier, you meant PM, not AM.
a.m.
Oh, AM. Wow.
Yeah. I get up at 3 or 4 in the morning, do some missions, do my endeavors. Ed and I have some fun, and then I go to work. And then I come home and do more streaming.
Wow. That is.
Yeah, right now it's
So
stream,
you've got a
work,
Star Trek
stream,
Online
bed.
morning show, is what you're
Yes, yes.
saying.
It's called Mom and Ed in the morning.
Oh my God, that's amazing. What kind of stuff do you guys cover on the morning stream?
It recently it's been just TFOs, but when the whole new Klingon art came out, we decided to create new Klingon characters, and we did that.
Okay.
We did some power leveling, so I have my captain's speed level, who went from tutorials to 65 in I think 3.5 hours
Oh my
just
God.
by doing patrols.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well done. Uh,
Well, it's all because we've got a great bunch of people who support us.
yeah. So I see a bunch of people in chat showering you in love, as well deserved. And
I love you
talking
guys too.
about what you joke around about being the quote unquote mom of the fleet, but you kind of
I am.
are, right?
I
You
am the
are
mom of
kind
the
of the
fleet,
mom of the
yes.
fleet, right? Like you're the one who takes care of everybody. That's amazing that you do that.
I
What is
try
it?
to do that.
Yeah. What is it that made you gravitate towards that role? Do you think?
That's a really good question. I think maybe it's just, my name on the game is Brondo Mom, which comes out of playing a can of Brondo as an anime convention. And then for whatever reason, I think I was looking for a
Wait,
good
go back.
handle.
Why did you play a can of Brawndo?
I love going to anime conventions. I love doing cosplay, but I was getting really sick of being like Roy Mustang or Fujiwara no Sai. And my son suggested I go as a can of Brawndo, but all I'd have to do was wear the costume and he'd walk around behind me doing the commercial voice. So
That's
it was a
amazing.
two-part thing there.
Oh, so
And
yeah, go
I
ahead.
just became mom.
That's amazing. So just the players naturally gravitated to your angelic mom-like
I,
presence.
oh, I would hardly call me angelic, but you can ask them. Brawndo, it's got what plants crave, exactly, Grumpy. But yeah, there's not enough compassion in this world, and I can be incredibly hardcore when I have to be, and rude and mean. But right now, everybody needs a little bit extra love, so put it out there.
Well, that's kind of what Star Trek's about, right? Like not being cruel, being kind, being finding a universe where we can all be kind to each other no matter what
I
happens.
would like to think that, yeah, certainly it's one reason I started watching it way back when. I mean, I did see, I was thinking about it this afternoon that I did see the first episode of Star Trek, which would be 66.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
how
I've been around
No,
for a while.
I won't ask how old you were, but what did you think of the first episode of Star Trek when you saw it
I'm
way
still
back then?
playing it, and it's, what, how many years later? 50 some years?
That's great. People are saying I'm super quiet. I'm not sure what else to do, guys. It's all the way turned up. I apologize. I'm trying. Yeah. Okay. Well, mom. it
Hey,
is.
we're going to do the next convention, even if it's not STLV, if it's just kind of LV.
Yeah,
So
it's
we're
been. I
already
think
doing
it's
our
called the
planning for it.
50-year mission tour or something now. I'm
Yeah,
sure there's gonna be an official convention if they pulled the rights from
yeah.
creation. That probably means they have plans, but I don't know what those plans are yet.
I haven't heard anything. We're starting to work on the funding for it. Hey, if anybody wants to give us money, buy the book. Buy the book.
Buy the book.
Yes,
Where can
yes.
people buy the book?
It's actually on Amazon. Just Google Dark Mom Consortium and Star Trek, and it'll pop up. And we're hoping to have volume 3 out within the next 2 months, and volume 2 will be out somewhere in there.
Okay,
I know it's
awesome.
a little out of order, but
No,
that's life.
that's fine.
And I have to say one thing, though.
Yeah.
Zeph Films, I adore you, sir. The one thing I started doing when we got a little bit uncreative is I started making music videos, and his tutorials taught me about demo record. Ed taught me about demo record and how we can put things together. And then people started throwing challenges out there saying, could you do this? Could you do that? So even if it's not in my fleet, it's still a team effort.
That's awesome. He's one of my favorite people too.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
very glad we're friends. All right. Well, Bob, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
And to you,
I'm
sir.
going to just quickly see who I want to raid. But
Oh,
if you
yes.
guys have
Great.
any questions for me or Mom while we're setting that up, throw them my way, and I'll see if I can answer one or two of them. Let's see. We got 2 people streaming. Let's see. I understand why Twitch has Twitch ads, but when I just want to check out a stream quickly, I'm just like, why?
Yes.
Chat, you are not going to believe this.
See, this is why I've got Pie. Pie will be like, we're going to go raid these people, or we're going to take care of that. And it's just
Yeah,
like,
I
yep,
know.
Pie, you do it.
Having a stream producer would be wonderful, but not
Yes.
likely.
You like my little rainbow cat?
Yeah, this guy seems fine. All right, we're getting ready to raid, folks.
So
Thank you
cute.
all so much for joining us.
Got
And
little horns,
so it's great to have all of our guests on stream. Thank you all so much for joining us. Before we sign off and raid, I just want to say 2020's been a hell of a year
I've got
for
this
everybody,
bird.
but I am really, really glad that I have the STO community in my life, and I'm really, really glad that I have you guys to hang out with and talk Star Trek.
next will come up.
It's been an absolute pleasure every day being your community manager, even on the days that you all want my head on a pike. So I appreciate you all very much, and thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh,
All right, we're going to start this raid, and I will see you soon.
let's start punching fish.
Derp. Raid time.